tight. We will not talk about Donald Trump or his hair.
You're talking about Donald Trump's hair right now.
It's an abomination.
It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, it's awful.
The whole package.
He's clinging on by the skin of his teeth, isn't he, with his hair?
Yeah.
It's like a bald spot, but then really long hair, and it just combs over.
He just swirls it around and hopes
just
for the
shave
best.
Your hair off, you know. Just accept the fact that you're bald. Yeah, do exactly. This is a man.
Do it, Tommy.
Do it, Tommy.
Accept reality. Shave your hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Get rid of it. Get rid of that shredded wheat fluff on top of your head.
Speaking of hair on heads, you guys just released a homage to the Beastie Boys, and I see you two are really putting that into practice.
I mean, I've not changed anything about myself. That's the worst bit. I think
True.
The look came before the song, but he's got his handlebars in and the stain for good.
But you didn't have to wear fake mustaches, you two at least,
yeah.
for the video.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I shaved it in, just because, like, you know, when you're playing with, like, a fake moustache, especially on drums, and it's, like, dripping over your mouth, and it's, like, dangling off, like, I just couldn't be arsed with that. So, like, and plus, I wanted to give it a go. I wanted to, you know, push the boundaries and see what I can get away with in society in terms of facial hair, so... Yeah.
Well, it is Movember as well, so...
I know, and like, I'm not actually collecting any money for it. I mean, like, maybe I should start collecting money, but like, it's good because when people are taking the piss out of me for having this tash, I can always be like, it's for Movember actually, but like, really, it's not.
But check your balls anyways, guys.
Check your balls in the bath. Best time to do it.
Oh, when you go for a piss as well. Yeah. Just have a little feel, you know. Your hand's down there anyway. Just make sure nobody else is in the toilet with you, because they might think that you're fondling yourself, and that'd be an awkward predicament to find yourself in.
Or you could be checking the next guy at the next urinal.
Well, you know, sharing is caring, isn't it? And we've got to look
Exactly.
after each other, you know. So maybe feeling each other's balls in a totally platonic way to help prevent testicular cancer is the best way of going about that. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm an authority on that sort of stuff.
Make touching other people's balls normal again. That's what I say.
So,
Prevents cancer. Why not?
That's for a good cause.
prevents cancer and increases joy.
There you go. So what made you guys want to cover Sabotage and go full out with that video?
I'm not going to lie, the idea was basically there was a Halloween gig a few years ago at Pier and I banged on about it all day long. It was just one of the best nights ever. I was like, someone covered Misfits, like, we've got to do something. Then after that night, I literally woke up that night and was like, I want to go this is before I was even in Bruise Control. It's like, I want to dress as Beastie Boys. I wanted to do Intergalactic, just the costume, and that was it. And I think it was basically just a minute of just putting it in the chat, doing like, let's cover something, let's do Beastie Boys. And then I think I wanted to do maybe the other one, and then we just decided on like Sabotage, because it'd be good because we can dress up as police. And yeah, I just think it would just be funny. And we didn't really intend to record it as such. We just thought it'd be something to do to make the Halloween gig like Halloweeny, or just a special event. But then we record stuff really easily. Like, just our guitarist Niall just records everything in our room on like an 8-track. So he's just like, yeah, let's just record it, and was like, fuck it, let's put it out, yeah.
And it came out good. I'm impressed. I enjoyed it. But I have to ask, are you guys fans of the original Beastie Boys, their hardcore era?
I've heard like they do like eight hardcore tunes or something.
They did a couple of EPs, I think. Yeah. They weren't. They themselves said they weren't very good, but I liked it.
I think it's all right. From what I remember, it was all right. There was a couple of good songs, but I think like a lot of it was filler. Like,
exactly.
It was obvious that they were just sort of like trying to find their sound and just playing around and like trying to work out what they were going to do, and then they sort of like naturally evolved into the Beastie Boys that everyone knows.
Total change of sound, but
I mean, I think it would have been hard to play Intergalactic and like transfer that onto like guitars. So like, but at least with like Sabotage, it's all like guitars anyway. So like, it's pretty easy. And also, Niall was buzzing. It's just one note, like the entire way through. So he's just like
bunk, 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 bunk. That's it.
One note. Anyone can, like, if anyone's wanting to start a band and they're not very good on their instruments, or like they're young, you know, like when everyone starts, you know, you're shit at playing, I would say first cover, do Sabotage. It's a piece of piss.
It's a certified banger, and it's the simplest thing. The hardest thing for me was remembering the fucking words. That was like, I literally had it on repeat when I go into work and coming home, listen to it every day, and I still balls it up, even on the recording. I think you can hear some of the words are wrong, but it is what it is. Like,
It is. That's the homage part of it.
Yeah.
That you're not totally faithful to it. You're paying homage to
Yeah.
the original. You think that works?
I think I think it works really well. It's yeah. I've still not played it with you guys live, but thankfully it's just one chord. So like,
it's because we released it yesterday and we played in Levenshulme. So obviously it was like, yeah, let's play it, and like, because Devon lives in Netherlands, so when he's over, he plays with us. If not, we can do it as a 4-piece. So we done this when Devon wasn't here, and was like, yeah, we'll just do it. And like, he'd not practiced it with us. Was like, it's just one chord, you'll be fine. And because we're so regimented with our set list of how many times we practiced it, we got on fucking stage, didn't we? And just started playing Useless. We was meant to open with it. Halfway through the song, I was like, oh shit. And then in between one of the songs later on in the set, I started talking about how Sabotage was released, and I've got some prints, and everyone just started laughing at me like, we've not fucking played it. And I was just like, oh, I had you all shouting at me, then the crowd like all laughing. I was just like, oh shit. It was like, really messed that one up, but we will be playing it tonight. I'm making sure.
I'm looking forward to it. But you've also released Taxman and what, HMRC? Was that it?
So we basically recorded our first EP, which had HMRC on it, but we did a live video where we recorded it in the same way that we would do without the video. So we re-released it because from that original EP, every song we do is just so much different and faster than what it was recorded. So we almost re-released HMRC as a video. So I could guess so, but yeah, Taxman came out of nowhere, didn't it? Like, that's like I think our favourite song in it, really.
I think Useless and Taxman are probably the strongest songs that we've got. Yeah, it did just sort of come out of nowhere, didn't it? I think Niall had been twiddling around with like some of the chord progressions for a while, and then like it just sort of really came into fruition.
It was really weird. Like, what happens is, like, we just have a chat on Facebook, and sometimes Niall or Devon will put a riff in the chat. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes we use it. But with that Taxman, I actually had the word. I saw it on telly or something about Tears for the Taxman, and I thought, shit, that's well good. And I was like, I actually written pretty much the whole verses before I even knew a tune. And it just so happened Devon put his riff in the chat, and it was like, it fit like that straight away. It was just like, wow. Like, it's very rare that someone throws you something and my lyrics just went straight into it. So it was like, yeah, I think that's why it's our favourites, because it all slotted in. We didn't really work for it, did we? It was like, it was, obviously you have to build it up, but like in terms of the initial part, we didn't just sit down and think, right, let's write this song. It was like, it had already been kind of written before we'd even tried it together.
The song wrote itself.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And it's, it's really fun to do as well, and it's a little different, and it's just got some nice aspects. I really like it, to be fair.
So when will this be released? Are you doing vinyl?
Yeah, so we are actually recording our album next month, but obviously with it being the pressing plant, blockade of 2021, there's more than likely it will not release for a while, so we're not announcing anything yet, just because we don't know when the fuck we're gonna be able to release it. But
realistically, it'll probably be like the end of 2023. But I was very conscious of, like, I didn't want to release an album and bring it out digitally like 4 months before we release it on record, because like we want to get a record out like vinyl. So it's just a case, you just gotta wait. I mean, like, there's no way around it. But in the meantime, I think like we're gonna record it whilst we're waiting for it to be pressed. We're gonna be doing other stuff, like releasing like little videos, and maybe doing some like one-offs and like drip feeding bits out.
Yeah,
so,
I think we'll do more like the HMRC live session. I think we'll do stuff like that where like we'll record some of our songs that we already have, or maybe a new one, and put it out that way. And just little bits like with, because we was thinking about, you know, when we released Sabotage, it's like, how can we get a physical without it being a physical? And I just thought, like, because I took some pictures of all in costume that night, I was like, we'll do some prints. And it's just a nice way, like, prints. I stole the idea off Piss Kitty, to be fair. They actually started doing prints a couple of weeks ago of like, actually my picture, and I've not been paid a penny for that. I'll just put that one out there. Danny Esme. But yeah, so it's just like, wow, that's a sick idea. So it's like, it's something physical, and on the back you've got the download code. So it's a digital track, but it's like we're donating the charity to like a legal action group, I think they're called, where they kind of just look after people who are like marginalised, like on the legal side of things, whether they're struggling with money or they're just struggling in society. They've got the backs, and I think donating that money helps people, you know, you can't afford it and where they really need it, you know. So I thought, and it goes with the rhetoric of us dressing like police. I think it's pretty funny to, like, you know, donating almost as anti-police as you can while singing a song dressed as policemen, you know. So it's pretty good.
You like that irony?
I thought it was pretty smart of me, that, you know. Well, to be fair, it was your idea with the legal action group, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the exact name of the group off the top of my head. Should have probably come a bit more prepared to this interview. I can't remember the name of the charity, but basically what they do is,
I think it's LAG.
it's literally a legal action group, something along that anyway. I think so. People who are involved with legal cases that are surrounding police abuse and sort of the abuse of authority by police officers, which were all too unfortunately, exactly. But it basically they're set up to help people with legal funds and stuff like that. Especially a lot of people who are targeted by police brutality are impoverished people in impoverished areas who probably can't really afford the sort of legal aid that they actually need to really combat that in a way that's effective and actually gets them the sort of compensation, but more of a justice that they need. Yeah, like Jim Bob said, it's a good rhetoric to sort of tie into it, you know, dressing as police officers to sort of fuck over the police, you know. I think that idea is, quite sound in some ways.
And this is not most of your first band. Is it your first band, Jim?
Yes, I think everyone else has been in bands, but I've never played in any band. I mean, I played a cover of Come Together by the Beatles in high school, if that counts, but I've never been in a band. But obviously, because I've photographed so many of these bands and I've known them all and I've watched them all, it's almost like I knew I was stupid enough to do something like this. So it's just like, it's just like my first band. It was weird starting at first, quite nerve-wracking.
That was pretty funny. Like, I mean, I've known, how long have I known you now? Like a couple of years?
Since the band started?
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I knew you were going to be fine live. So like, it's totally different when you're practicing in like a practice room. You know, like anyone it's just like karaoke, that, isn't it, really? But like when you're live and like on stage, like especially if you've never done it before, like I was sort of wanting him just one gig just to fucking shit his pants, and I could like rinse him for it, like. But he was fine. Like literally the first gig, took to it like a duck to water. And he was perfect, and I was just like, "Oh, you bastard!" I was, part of me was just like, "Oh God, I just want you to mess it up once." Yeah. But yeah, it was perfect. Like, and he's a great front man. Like, you're gonna have to get some Buckfast to pour over your centre there on stage, mate.
Oh God.
Yeah, are you going to start doing the beers on the head or Buckfast now, or?
It's never something I choose to do. It's just like I get in these weird phases, like. There was just before lockdown, it was beer on my head and eating lit cigs. Like there's probably at least 50 cig stumps in my stomach because I've never shit one out yet. But I'm glad, like, yeah. So
filters are just
But
gonna be in there for
I gig in Sheffield the other week. Some guy kept giving me his pint, like, you know, you have it once and you drink and you're like, yeah, nice one, mate. And then he kept doing it, so I was just like, fuck it, and just got rid of his pint for him so he couldn't do it anymore, which was fun. But yeah, I don't know where that came from, and I don't know where it's going, but it's just not ending. So we'll see what happens.
That's one of my favourite photos of all time. Is that photo of Jim with like that? Honestly, man, like hopefully, you know, like when people are looking through like mad iconic photos of like the punk scene in New York in like the 80s, like. I think this deserves to be elevated to like a legendary photo status because it's like one of the best photos I've ever seen. Like you.
Because I wasn't there when that happened. How long did you stick about the gig for? Did you just walk around like a sticky toffee for like 2-3 hours?
It was pretty. What was it? They were doing 2 bottles of Buckfast at 20 quid. And I was like, you know what? I had about 25 quid to my name, and I was like, should I go home or not? I was like, nah, fuck it. It was like 2 bottles of Buckfast. Smash one, and as you know, if you drink Buckfast, you have one, and then you wake up somewhere else. Yeah. And like I had one, and like that, and I drank like a half of the second, and then just beyond blackout drunk while I'm carrying like my camera around with me and stuff. And like that was in the peak of it. You know what I mean? God knows how many cigs I ate that night as well. And it was just like that. Bev was there at the time. I don't know what comes over me. I think I'm funny, don't I? But yeah, it wasn't that sticky. Weirdly enough, I wasn't like a sticky mess. I recall like, mate, it's meant to be good for your hair as well, beer. Like when I pulled beer on my head, my hair's all soft the next day.
It's tonic wine.
Yeah, it's syrupy and sweet and.
Yeah, you know, I might just. No, I'm only joking. I'm not going to do that.
Not on
Take your
us.
hats off at least first, like.
Last time I had some Buckfast, I got a bit on my top lip, and I woke up next day and I just had a massive moustache. It's really good for your hair.
That's a Buckfast mustache. I get it now.
That's moustache.
Not that good for your hair, is it?
I didn't get them on my head.
The reason he went bald, put Buckfast on his head and it just fell out like it was made of plutonium or something.
That's
I
it.
think the reason that I went is I used to dye my hair constantly, and I also used to use red Dax religiously. Have you ever used red Dax? Honestly, it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like candle wax. Like you have to scrape it out with your nail, and like you cannot get rid of it. Like you put it on, it'll be on your hair for like the next week. You can't wash it off. Like it's really the most hardcore hair gel you have ever seen. You can only buy it from like actual barbers. Like
It's the sticky stuff.
axle grease, but like really thick. Like so, yeah. I mean, I was using that for about 4 or 5 years, and then that was it. I went bald when I was like 20. That was like that's it.
That's it. It was the wax, yeah.
Something I always really found funny is like going out to a gig with people with like massive sort of hairsprayed mohawks, and then going back to a squat party, and as the night went on, the mohawks had just slowly become really lopsided, and by the end of the night it was like this big sticky, and it just totally embellished the sort of spirit of like the start of the party and then the end of the party.
Yep.
It was this lopsided mohawk.
So I heard that like casualties used to sleep like in the van, like on the side of their heads, like, and when they were in the van, like they never used to like mess their hair up, like so their hair would stay that way for like a week. Heard that story. I don't know whether it's true. That's probably not.
That's insane, but I can understand it.
The Casualties are that sort of like, they're that sort of band, aren't they? I really don't like the Casualties. I'm sorry if anyone likes the Casualties who's watching this, but yeah. But they're that sort of band, aren't they? Like fashion punks, you know. They're more about the look than they are the sort of.
There's a lot out there like that.
Yeah, there
in
really
general,
isn't there? There really is. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, they do what they do, don't they? Wasn't in fact recent. I say they do what they do. Recently, one of them came out as sexually assaulting someone or something like that.
George, the singer, like there was some bad stuff, but like fair play to the rest of the band. They were like sacked him off straight away. Their new singer's actually really nice, and like I think like Jake, like I've come into contact with Jake a couple of times because like I used to print T-shirts, and like my mate who I used to work with, he put loads of gigs on in Sheffield, and he like and then honestly like the rest of the band, they've never been nothing but like stand up, so like I've never had like a bad experience with them.
I interviewed them a few years ago with the new singer, and they didn't even want to talk about the Jorge days. Yeah.
So like, and they obviously like did the right thing. And I think the rest of the band are all really good. I think they get a lot of stick. Like it's easy for people to be like, oh, they're just fucking in it for the pose, you know, like they're just posers. But like, really, I mean, they've been doing it. They've probably been playing longer than you've been fucking alive, Dev. And they're still doing it. And they still look exactly the same. And like, you know, that's just what they're into. But like, I feel like they've put a lot of hard work into it. So like, I don't want to be on record like slagging off the Casualties, because like they were like an important part of me getting into music and growing up as well. Like that first Casualties album I used to love, like For the Punks.
I'll do a public apology now. I'm sorry to Casualties. Yeah, but you know, like,
You know, they're just like, they're all right. They're fine.
But speaking of bands, you're in Gernal Gaddafi?
Gernal Gaddafi, yeah.
And anybody else?
I've started a new band in Holland. I got a lot of my friends in Holland into Fred Dibner, like a post-punk band. We've not released anything yet, so don't go looking us up online, because you'll find nothing apart from Fred Dibner videos. In fact, do look up Fred Dibner though. But anyway, yeah, originally we were going to call ourselves Steeplejack, because everyone's like really into Fred Dibner now. But then I was with my friend's mum last night, and she was like, oh, my dad was a Steeplejack. It was called Ray Abdullah, and I was like, that needs to be the name of our band. So I think we're going to call ourselves Ray Abdullah. But if anyone wants to check out any really good bands in Holland, I'd probably recommend Tramhouse, JC Thomas and the Missing Slippers, Prince Pigeon, what do they call it? Iguana Death Cult, and they're not from the Netherlands, but the kids from Belgium are fucking amazing.
Well, they're also close together, Benelux. So.
Yeah, it's the whole Benelux region, right? And there's
Kids from Belgium. But kids from Belgium.
kids from Belgium on your computer. You might have someone knocking on your door the day after. But yeah, there's a real hotbed for really good garage bands out there and stuff that are sort of hidden away. But once you unlock the door, you know, it's there, isn't it? You know.
Exactly. And you, I don't even know where to start. You're the type of guy who can sit down and fill in for somebody after hearing the stuff just a few times, more or less, from what I've been seeing.
I wish it was as simple as that.
Being modest.
But no, like you have to like. There is a lot of work that goes into it. Like there's a lot of practices that people don't like tend to see. Like I'll crop up and I'll be playing drums for a band, but like really I've been like practicing hard for like the past like 3 months leading up to that. So yeah, but I mean it's fun. Like I'll just love playing drums. I'll play drums if I like the band. I'll play drums for them, and it just keeps me out the house. What else would I be doing? I'd just be playing computer games otherwise. Or
So you do both?
Grooming your mustache.
or grooming my mustache. Nah, like, I'd never do that. Chopper till I die.
Have you thought about doing handlebars?
No, Molly's behind us there. Hey, Molly and Sam. Bloody thugs.
Yeah.
Thugs on the street.
Groupies.
Yeah.
That's it. The two of them are groupies.
Do you remember those Manchester Punks back patches that said fuggery and shagging on the back of it? And you have like 2 pairs of Doc Martens on it or something. Yeah. In Manchester, we're all about fuggery and shagging apparently.
You guys?
What?
Is that why you moved here?
Is it what's it? Thuggery and shagging. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm into both, but I'm only doing one at the moment. It begins with a T.
I was going to ask, but... So, you're recording, but you won't be having it out because of the problems with getting vinyl. What else do you have planned for the next few months, say?
That's a good question. That's a question we need to ask ourselves, really. We're just getting this album out of the way, and then we're gonna. I think obviously we've been really really lucky, like because obviously we literally was meant to play our first gig in like April, and the lockdown happened in March, so we had like a year and a half of just practicing, but like gigs being cancelled or pushed back. So we've been really lucky in the past 6 months that we've been able to play. Just every gig has just been, you know, we've been asked to do it, and we've been stoked. We've been all over the place already. I think next year we'll do a bit more planning and actually do like some mini tours, and we want to go down to Falmouth. We want to play with Sniff. Big up Sniff's new EP, by the way. Alex Smith, probably one of the best things that's come out this year. But yeah, we're planning on just doing like strings of gigs, I think. So like being more tactical about where we play as opposed to, because none of us drive at the minute. So it's like if we say we're going to play, like for example Hastings next week, we need to find a driver and a hire car, which we've done. And it's just kind of like, you know, and it's not about making money, but we're just pissing money down the drain doing that. But it works out all right. It's all in the name of fun, really, isn't it?
So we're just going to concentrate on like the UK and like just try and blast the UK next year. We've been playing like quite a lot of gigs in Manchester, which is like, it's been fun, but like I don't want to sort of like be that go-to band who plays every single gig, because then it sort of takes away some of the mystery around it. You know, you want people to be like well up for coming and seeing you, but if they know that they can see you next week, then it sort of takes away from it. But like we've had offers for next year for Stamford. Like
London.
Great Skate All Day is going to be great. Those gigs are amazing. Like those Stamford crew, like they put on the best gigs. They do like Scary Clown Presents. Like you should check them out, because like they one of the best gigs in the entire country. We're playing like Birmingham. We're going to try and get a couple of tours in, like with Alex Smith as Sniff. Hopefully that's on the cards.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone just yet. As I said, we're just trying to get this album recorded. Once we have that and send it off to be pressed, then we can figure it out. But yeah, I think we're basically going to be smashing it again, like as many as we can do next year. I don't think there'll be an album release, but there'll be some little bits, like you said. There'll be a couple of videos, a couple of singles, hopefully some more funny shit like Sabotage. You know, we quite enjoy playing it, don't we? Like it's been really fun doing it.
I'll suggest the music that's on in the background here. Yeah.
Yeah, the B-52s are great, man. Yeah. I feel like
I'm not supposed to do that. I'm from Wigan. I can't be going like rock lobster. You know what I mean? No way.
Well, again,
Do
it's
a
the
Wigan one, do a
homage.
Wigan one.
B-52 song, and it was about like someone's partner getting eaten by a shark or something. It's great.
I know
like,
the
the
which
riffs
one
in
you
it
mean.
are
I can't
amazing,
think
and
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, B-52s are awesome.
Do a Wigan one. Call it Thermidor Lobster.
Babby's Shed.
Babby's Shed, yeah, Babby's Shed one. We were at the pie shop. Everyone was having a real good pie.
You
Yeah,
know,
maybe we'll do that.
I think that's it.
Well, it's just been recorded. Let's release it. Send us this, Andy. We'll release that.
That's it. You've got it here.
That's the album. Essentially, the album's just Jim Bob talking about pies.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like the Mac Lads.
Oh, don't mention that word. Words.
The band that shall not be spoken. They're playing tomorrow.
Just said they're not going to be spoken, man.
Yeah, now I'm talking. Now I'm actually unintentionally promoting them.
For anyone that's going watching the Mac Lads tomorrow, it's cancelled. Don't go. The event's cancelled. Sorry. Don't go to it.
Yeah.
It's been called off.
Should totally not be mentioned. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You can cut that part out. Actually, they're not playing tomorrow. They're never playing ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't wait to see you again on stage. Seen you once, second time seeing you. And
Time's a charm.
that's it. That's it.
Prepare to dance your socks off.
I will watch you guys dance. I want to see you with your Buckfaster beer on stage, but you don't have the camera, so...
We'll see. We'll see.
Fast over your camera. How about that? Great idea.
No. I'm actually off duty tonight. I'm excited to, even though I have as much fun as humanly possible with my camera, I'm just excited to like actually think a little less and just drink a little more. Hey,
It's not bad.
a little less, drink a little more.
That's it.
It's a mediocre name for a song, that.
That's like a Wigan punk band and they're all 75.
Still wearing tartan pants and yeah, man. Great.
The Wigan Lads or something.
Oh no, not the Wigan Lads, Jesus Lord. No.
Oh, I need to have a shower after
I
just
know.
like thinking about it.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna itch, you know.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll see you guys on stage.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you all very much.
It's not like doing no majesty. It's not like doing customs. It's just doing fucking knobheads in suits, man. Fuck them all. Let's play the song. Let's play the song. Some night.